What's going on, fish keepers? George from South Florida African Cichlids here, and today we're going to be talking about how to properly clean your sponge filter without making a mess in your tank, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so now we're ready to clean our sponge. Let's take a look at it before anything. As you can see, it looks pretty filthy. I think I haven't cleaned it in about probably like 2 months, and I had a lot of fry in here. Now I don't have as much fry, so the bio load is very small. Something to keep in mind when you're doing this is that if your tank runs only on a sponge filter, you want to make sure that you're not killing off any of the beneficial bacteria, because if you put that sponge filter and the bacteria dies back in the tank, you're going to cause another cycle and you might lose some fish. So keep that in mind. So the things you're going to need to clean your sponge filter is, I would recommend getting like a big Ziploc bag or just a plastic bag, and you're going to slide that under the sponge filter before taking it out of the tank. And you're going to want to get a bucket too with some tank water. Here you can see my bag in the water. Now this part is going to be very tricky. I'm going to try to mount my camera somewhere because I have a lot of fry in here, so I don't want the fry to get in the bag with the sponge filter as well, all at the same time. So what we're gonna do step by step is we're gonna put the bag inside the water, we're gonna put the sponge filter inside the bag, and then once it's inside the bag, you're gonna pull the bag out of the water. Once your bag is out of the water, at least the top handles, then you could disconnect your air line from your sponge, and then you take that bag with the water and the sponge filter and hopefully no fry into the bathroom, and I'm gonna show you the next step. Sponge filter. So we got clean water from the tank. Well, not so clean. We got the sponge filter. You can pretty much empty out the bag at this point into the sink. Make sure your sink is clogged, because that water is going to be used for cleaning the sponge, making sure the beneficial bacteria stays in there. Now we're going to take the sponge filter apart. It has a couple parts here. This is the base part, and you're left with your whole sponge. Now you got your sponge. You want to give it some good squeezes in the water. Look at that. You're going to see how the water looks right now. Now remember, don't get any chlorine water, any contaminated water in here. You want to just make sure you're squeezing it with its own water. Now if you wanted to change the water out, you could go back to the tank and get another bag full of water, empty this, and do that. And that's actually what I'm going to do here in a second. You could also do this in a bucket and just do it right next to the tank, but I don't have a bucket with me. So let's go ahead, drain this, and I'm gonna get another bag full of water, and I'll be right back. So I forgot to clog it, but that's fine. We have enough water in here. So obviously you want to do this, you know, before your water change. So if any of that dirt, any of the detritus or whatever gets into your water from taking the sponge out, you could vacuum that out later. I think we're pretty much done here. All right, sponge looks good as new. Let's give you guys a view. Pretty much good as new. So I'll give these parts a rinse. You can see how that water is, and that's after already changing the water once. Give this a rinse, this a rinse. Let's empty out that water. We're gonna put the sponge filter together and get it back in the tank. Hey guys, so the sponge filter is back in the water. Now when you put it in, make sure you do it very slowly because it does create a little bit of a cloud as you see here, but that's fine. That's why I told you to do it before a water change, because now we're gonna do the water change. Gonna take most of this dirty water out and put new water in. But you could see the sponge, we did a really good job on it. There's no more brown stuff on it. It just looks like a new black sponge, and that's pretty much what we want. And with these fry in here that are only, you know, like half an inch big, they're a month old now, it'll really be, you know, 2 or 3 months before I have to clean the sponge again. So I hope you guys took something from this video, and I hope you learn how to clean your sponges correctly. I would really hate for you to be using just tap water and just wasting all that beneficial bacteria that's inside the sponge. And I'm gonna do the water change, and I'll give you another clip of what it looks like after that. Guys, water change is done. Actually working on the next tank now. We're about to start filling it up. Another thing that I wanted to tell you is if you don't have a bucket or anything, but you do have a python, you could just connect the python to the hose. Once the water starts sucking out of your tank, you turn your water off, and that water that's going to be in your sink is actually water from your tank, so you could even use that to clean out your sponge filter. But besides that, that's pretty much it. You know, everything's looking great, and I hope you guys took something from this video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Catch you guys next time.